Hello, how's it going? Welcome back. I've got the Losi Mini-T 1.0. This is the original. I've got this cheap-ish on eBay. Needed repaired, done that. Gave it all new electronics because all but the motor was missing. So it's got a new SE, new servo, new radio gear. And I took it out previously and it was dreadful. Yeah, it was rubbish. Kept on spinning out all the time. Couldn't put the power down at all. Yes, it was damp. But the bigger issue was this wheel was oscillating all the time.
Yeah, that needs tightened.
Two main reasons for that. One, I didn't realise at the time. The one I did realise was the servo saver was loose and this wheel was wobbling and oscillating all over the place while this one wasn't. It was really bad. I mean, there's still a bit of slop. I've tightened up, there's still slop because it's not a great design of servo saver, but it's better than it was. And it was really, really poor before. So this wheel would be tracking straight and this one would be... So that's sorted. Another problem, bigger problem, again on this wheel. The little eyelet at the bottom of the shock shaft has gone, they've all gone brittle. And it's a very old car now, early 2000s. It'd gone brittle and it actually snapped while I was using it. I didn't realise at the time. And then the spring cup had fallen off as a result because the shock was no longer attached to the suspension arm. So the spring was sitting on the arm and therefore was in roughly the right place, so I didn't notice. But there was it wasn't really working properly. So I had oil-filled shocks on all three and a spring that was oscillating like crazy, and maybe the shock shaft was hitting the ground, I don't know. But that wasn't working. I had an idea because I lost the spring cup. And also the eyelet was gone. The eyelet's cracked and broken and yeah, didn't have a spare. I bought this. This is Team Losi part LOS B1039. This is a suspension kit, damper set for this car, but it's the assembled friction shock kit, not all shocks. You can see the all shocks are inside it. Why are they not on the car? The plan was to steal the spring cups and the eyelets from this set, put them on the all shocks, and then everything would be fine. Few problems with that. First of all, I didn't realise the oil shocks have a different diameter, so the spring cups were not the same size. Secondly, the dampers, the friction shocks, which I've now had to fit, it's all one piece. The eyelet and the spring cup and the shaft are all one piece. They're all one piece of plastic. They don't separate, so that it wouldn't be possible even if they were the right size. So I had no choice but to put the friction dampers, in other words, they're not really dampers, they're just friction shocks, is that the right word even? Because there's no damping, so there's no shock absorption, they're just literally springs and things to hold the springs on. So yeah, it's like a cheap RC nowadays, you know, you got friction dampers rather than real ones. This is what it's like, but this is what this was like when it was brand new. It came with these. These were an optional upgrade. I don't know where I'll find these bits. I don't know if I'll find these bits, and frankly, I don't think it'll look. I'm going to sell this car afterwards. It's going to be fully working. If somebody who buys it happens to like these Mini-Ts, they might have one of these spring cups and one of the eyelets in stock. Because that's all it needs to have 4 complete working oil-filled dampers. In the meantime, we're going to go back to where we were before and try it now that it has working suspension, albeit worse suspension, but working worse suspension, and a servo saver that isn't dreadful. It's merely kind of rubbish. So let's go.
Yeah, dampers, my arse. They aren't damping anything. Anyway, couldn't go to where I was before, unfortunately. Because it's been flagged for demolition and there's a security guard there. Luckily I found another place here, just as abandoned. The only difference is in this retail park, some of it's getting used and some of it isn't. Weirdly they've salted this bit even though there's no business here, which is annoying, but it shouldn't affect the car too much, or at all. So let's see, does it have any more control than before? Oh, it doesn't handle like before. That was damping at its best. Damping at its best. Or worst, or non-existent. Well, there you are. It can be driven now. certainly can be driven now. Previously it was awful. Don't think the salt is helping. Oh dear, oh no, oh, grip roll. Yes. Could do with stiffer suspension there. Maybe this is a more sort of loose surface type vehicle. Just got to be cautious with the way you steer it. Don't fling it around too much or it'll grip roll. Yeah! You can hear it's very softly sprung. And underdamped doesn't even come close. Oh, it'd be so much better with those auto shocks on it. Oh. Yeah. There's so many abandoned buildings nowadays, commercial buildings. Look at this. It's awesome inside. It's really nice. Really modern as well. It's obviously not been abandoned that long or even built that long ago. Yeah. No. Look at this. I wonder if I can get a vantage point from up here. Last inspected on, no idea, 2014 it says. It's a shame that wall's there. It'd be a really good vantage point otherwise. Where are you? I roll it here, I'll be upset. Oh, and I'm upset. Steering trim's not exactly central. Come on, step right. Wow, there's all sorts of computer systems in here, phones, modems. Just left. Mental. Mental. Beautiful day though. That's Stirling Castle. Let's see what it's like on the short grass. It's too much. Too much for it. It's too wee. Goes through okay. But yeah. With some proper oil-filled shocks, this would be most at home on like an AstroTurf prepared track. Still, it's alright. I can see why these things caused a stir when they first came out. A little, almost like a buggy chassis, tiny little package. Rife for upgrading. Oh, it's fine. Slide down on the salt here a little bit. Actually, the salt's probably helping because it's not grip rolling on it. Everything survived okay? Yep. All looks good. Bit of vegetation. There we go, get rid of that. Stop laughing at me. Oh, didn't think it was as steep as that on that side. I must have caught the one brick that's raised. That one, I think. I reckon it's because it's so underdamped and so soft. The chassis hit the ground there, and that's what made it front flip. Yep. I can definitely see why people like these things. It's got lots of personality, loads of scope for upgrading. However, it is not for me. I don't know what to ask for it, but I'm sure someone will enjoy it, have fun with it. Maybe there's somebody who really likes Mini-Ts and has the right parts to fix the oil shocks. Mini-T 2.0 brushless system or something, that'd be good. In the meantime, mission accomplished for me, and I am done with it. Bye bye, little Losi.